Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. In this early access webinar, we are excited to present the latest updates and improvements that we have made to enhance your CRM experience. We will be showcasing the first 5 of these updates, which are designed to add to CRM customization capabilities. As we discuss new field types and highly anticipated enhancements to existing functionalities, we'll also try to talk about how these new changes will reflect in other CRM activities such as workflow automation. Before we get started, I'm Shweta from Zoho Community. I'll be walking you through the new updates and discuss their functionalities along with the business scenario. We have a panel of experts from CRM alongside me to help answer your questions. Shravani, Kaushik, and Shanmugaraja are product managers for the features we are discussing today. So drop your questions in the Q&A section in the left panel as and when any questions come up or if you have any issues while setting the features as we demo them. Also, we have pre-recorded this session to avoid any kind of technical difficulties. So if you face any technical glitches, please do inform us in the chat so that we can check and rectify it as soon as possible. Some housekeeping information before we get started. Audio is available through your computer and attendees are muted. You can ask questions through the question interface. So today's agenda is focused on introducing customization in Zoho CRM and discussing the new features in detail with business scenarios. So when it comes to a CRM, customization has a major role. Every organization will have a unique set of requirements when it comes to a customer relationship management. A good CRM system should be flexible to incorporate these requirements and tailor the system to suit the organization needs. The custom modules and custom fields in Zoho CRM gives you the flexibility to track all the details that need to be associated with the record, thereby allowing you to manage your sales process and track customer interactions efficiently. As we are talking about a well-customized CRM, it gives you a complete control over how information flows through your sales process, allowing you to collect additional information and perform specific actions that may not be collected or available in the CRM by default. By customizing your CRM, you can ensure that your team has all the information and data required at their disposal. Whether you need to track specific metrics, automate certain tasks, or simply streamline your processes, the foundation of it all starts with customizing your CRM. So let's take a look at the customizations of modules and fields in CRM. Once you select the module and the layout of your choice, CRM displays an array of fields on your left panel to choose from. On the top, we have single line, multi-line, email, phone, date, and etc. We have some field types that make it even more easier to maintain record information in your modules. The lookup field is one of such field highlight. It allows the flexibility to pull a list of records from an associated module to display in the records detail page. It gives a degree of flexibility to display important associated information without having to search for it in a whole other module. All the more reasons why 2 of the features we are talking about today have been created to add to its functionalities. And then we have our pick list fields, which lets you configure the available options from which a record value can be selected. They ensure that the uniformity is maintained in value that are given as input, since this way is one central value that has been configured to be selected and avoids the issue of different users keying in different spellings or short forms or numbers spelled out. Now that we have seen the importance of customizing your CRM, let's get into today's topic. This slide captures the customization related enhancements that were rolled out recently. Let me provide you with a brief overview of what these enhancements do. The Global Sets feature enables you to customize the pick list and make it available across all modules, eliminating the need to create it in each required module. Moreover, as the pick list is made globally available across modules, it saves the time and hassle of having to amend any pick list values in the individual modules in the future. We all know that a lookup field creates an association between 2 modules. But what if you want to view more field details captured in a lookup record without having to navigate to the lookup module? Field of lookup, a new enhancement that we're focusing on today, helps us address that requirement. The next enhancement is also related to a lookup field. When performing a lookup operation, you might have come across situations where irrelevant records are also shown in the list, and you have to navigate through them before selecting the correct record to be linked. You can now overcome this challenge by setting up a lookup filter and having only the relevant records displayed from the lookup module. Related List provides a quick view and easy access to all the related records from a different module in Zoho CRM. The Rollup Summary gives you the option to summarize or aggregate values from your related list and present them within the record without having to create or navigate to reports. Lastly, record locking allows you to lock a record once it reaches a certain stage, preventing others from editing or deleting it. There are provisions to lock the record both manually and automatically based on your organizational requirements. This is a long requested feature request in the community, and I'm sure this will help you meet your expectations regarding data integrity and compliance related requirements. I hope that most of you have already got the early access to these features and given them a spin. For those who haven't, fret not. In the upcoming slides, we will be taking a closer look at each of these features and providing you with a more detailed explanation backed by a use case-based demo for each feature. We will now delve into a business scenario to explore the usage and functionality of these features in depth. Get It Done is an online marketplace that connects businesses with professional writers from around the world. As a business looking for a writer, a client signs up for their website and submits a web form outlining their project requirements. Once they submit the form, their information is added to the CRM. From there, a dedicated agent will review his project requirements and associate it with an available writer who has the relevant skills and experiences to handle his project. If the writer approves the project, the agent will communicate the details of the project. A deal is created for the client. Throughout the project, the client communicates with the writer to discuss their work and ensure that it meets their requirements. This process flows smoothly according to the pipeline that Get It Done has built into its CRM system. The writer shares the finalized content with the client, and once the work is completed and delivered, the deal is closed. It sounds all good and smooth, but there are some little bumps in the road we gotta deal with. So let's check out what these hiccups are and when these new features actually come in handy. Earlier, we talked about picklist values and how they maintain uniformity across record values for that particular field. However, that's not always entirely the case. When you've got several modules in CRM, you sometimes have picklists created for each module that have overlapping values. As each of these picklists are created individually, it might not always reflect the same values. This could be because they were created at different times, or by different users, or even slightly different value formats were defined. It could also be that one picklist values were updated at some point in one particular module, but the changes weren't made across modules. So, for example, in this business scenario, it's common for clients to have varying content needs. For instance, some may require business-oriented writing, while others may want a more relaxed and informal blog style. In the project types provided by the freelancers, we've got long form, short form, blogs, articles, essays, and web page content. Additionally, as our business is in the process of expanding, we oversee the addition of newer project types such as social media posts, ebooks, user manuals, and etc. We might even retire some of the current project types we offer. It just makes sense to track the kind of project being signed up for by our leads, contacts, and deals that get created for the customer. So we've created a picklist field in the module listing these services so our sales teams can capture this information within their records. This field makes it easier for us to associate the type of content requested. Like we discussed earlier, picklists serve the same essential function, enabling you to choose a value from a pre-populated list. Say we have a new lead who has contacted us for a complete website overhaul and it's looking for a freelancer to provide content for the same. To categorize this lead properly, we select the web page option in our pick list field. When this lead is converted into a contact, all of their information is automatically carried over. However, to make sure that this information is accurately mapped across all modules, we would need to create a pick list in our contacts module, manually adding the same, as we would need to do in the deals module to be able to create a deal for this record automatically. Now, using the global pick list option, we could just create it once in the leads module and then associate it with the relevant modules wherever this data needs to be populated. Let's say I have created the project type pick list. To create a global set pick list, let's go to Setup, Modules and Fields under Customization, and then Global Sets. Now, I have created a pick list called project type, which has long form, short form, blogs, articles, essays, and web page content. If you're creating the pick list for the first time, all you have to do is to give a name to the pick list and add the values. Once you save it, go to the desired module. Where do you want to add this set to? I'm adding this pick list in the leads module, and all I have to do is to associate the pick list with the global sets. Once I do, you get the values predefined instead of adding them again. To make things even easier, we can simply clone our existing pick list field as a global set. We also wouldn't need to create fresh pick list fields to associate to the global set once it's created. Simply edit properties of the existing pick list to have their values be populated within the global pick list. Additionally, when we do decide to change up the kind of project we offer, add or delete any of the current project types, all we need to do is to edit the global set and changes will be reflected across each module's pick list, maintaining the uniformity we need. Let's say if I add the option social media content here. Now this change is made across all the modules. We talked about how the lookup field displays data from another module as a related field in the records detail page of a primary module. However, when you have a lot of records in your secondary module, not only it is cumbersome to associate the record you're looking for, sometimes you don't want irrelevant records to be visible to your users as well. The filter lookup field enables you to streamline your data search by displaying only the matching results based on your specified criteria. It helps you save time while moving forward. So let's say we need to associate a writer to the new lead we've created. We've got a separate module listing all these writers and freelancers who we can associate to a job. Our sales agents have a set of criteria after which they'd like to search for and associate writers who are available and are ideally suited for the job. Here, we run into a couple of challenges. We have a mix of active and inactive freelancers, contract employees, etc., who are all listed in the writers module. Some of them are not active, but we haven't removed them from these modules as they might resume their availability. Even though I have a checklist to find out whether the user is active or inactive, all these records are going to show up in the lookup field list, and users might end up associating inactive writers to the contact. Here's when the lookup filter feature comes in handy. Lookup filters can be configured to show only some of the records based on field criteria in a module. To do so, select the lookup module, edit properties, and select the filter lookup record option. Now, with the filter of lookup option, I can set a criteria to show only writers that are active to be shown in the results. This way, when we are looking to associate a writer for a new lead that's been recently created, it becomes easier as the user can see only those filtered results instead of seeing all of those writers. If the lookup field already has records associated and requires validation while editing the record, the validation option can also be selected. Instead of manually searching for multiple pieces of data from one module to link in another module, the field of lookup feature pulls data from a single lookup field and automatically updates corresponding fields. The field of lookup is a whole other field that's mapped to a lookup field, and it allows population of allied record information from the lookup fields module. Previously, we had to manually associate a writer's contact information with the leads record by searching for the data in another module. However, now with the field of lookup field, we can automatically set a condition to associate the writer's contact information, including email address and phone numbers, to the lead module when a writer is associated through the writer's lookup field. To do this, select the lookup field and choose the Edit field of the lookup module option. Here, you can choose the fields from the lookup module. You have the option to add as a new field or map with an existing field. Once you specify the name, you can save the field. Now, when a writer is associated to the lead, the field of lookup automatically associates the fields from the lookup module. In this example, when a writer is associated in the leads module, his email address and its website contact information are added automatically. With the Rollup Summary feature, you can conveniently summarize or aggregate related list values within a record without the need to generate reports. For every single write-up request that comes in, a task is created for the respectively assigned writer. Agents who try to close a sale would prefer to have a comprehensive information on their available writers at the ready, to be able to match or offer the right writer required for the job. Number of writing jobs completed or overdue open tasks all will be provided essential context. To achieve this, however, a report will need to be created and pulled up each time the agent needs to view this information. The Rollup Summary field fills this gap by offering a summary of related record fields. For example, when we have a contact who's looking to commission content writing for their entire business that's starting up, end to end, and they are willing to pay the premium, they want a writer who's well experienced in web content for starters. With the Rollup field, we have created a view of the number of writing jobs or tasks this writer has completed successfully. We can also create a view for number of tasks that are overdue or are open to know better than to assign them to such a large project with their hands already full. But now, with the Rollup Summary field, we can now generate a summary of the related list values and view the results within the writer's record. This eliminates the need to create a report and saves time. For example, if you want to view the number of tasks completed by the writers, all I have to do is to drag and drop the Rollup Summary feature and associate the relevant related list, which is the total completed task option. Now, when I save this, I can see the total number of tasks completed by the writer in the records detail page for a quick review without the need to create a report. Finally, we have arrived at the most requested enhancement, which is the implementation of record locking. Record locking enables you to secure a record once it attains a particular stage, prohibiting other users from modifying or erasing it. For that potential client that came in that we've been working on so far, that we've been able to associate the right kind of projects with and assign the right writer all this time, well, as it's such an important deal, we've put a quite lot of effort to ensure that the right strategy was used targeting our sales strategies around them. Additionally, their current record information is just perfect. It had a lot of work go into it ensuring the right information is entered in the right fields, and we prefer it stay that way. We have a lot of sales agents who might need to access this record in the deals module to be able to make decisions with respect to their other possible customers or writer assignment, so we don't really want to restrict them from viewing the record. We just don't want a few selected records not to be edited by anyone. We also would prefer if they weren't deleted, owners of the records aren't changed, or emails aren't sent to the deal once its status is marked as closed one. Or say you want to lock the record not to be edited except for just a couple of fields such as the deal status, that will need to be changed after a point of time, or we want to leave the possibility of editing the other fields open to just some users who have this certain profile privilege. This is all now possible through record locking. To do this configuration, choose the module in which you would like to lock the records. In our case, we need to lock the records in the deals module once their status has been changed into closed one. Here, with the profile permission for record locking, this user will be able to manually lock the record from the records detail page. Additionally, he can set a criteria where we can lock a records page automatically. As I mentioned, we set the criteria as when a deal is won, the record needs to be locked. So, you can choose to lock records for all the profiles, or you can even choose to allow some profiles to have access over it. By default, the edit action is disabled for the locked records. In addition to it, you can also restrict other types of native actions like record actions and communication actions. However, you can configure certain fields as editable which won't affect your business. You can leave a maximum of 15 fields as editable. Once a record is locked, we'll be able to notice a lock icon right beside the record. When the status of a deal is changed as closed one, the record automatically gets locked as we have set the criteria in the configuration page. The record is now restricted from editing and other actions that we have configured. In our case, other users will not be able to delete, change owner, or send an email from this record. To ensure automated actions still function for locked records such as scoring rules, approval process, assignment rules, and any workflow action, we need to ensure that the triggering user has their profile exempt from record locking, like we showed earlier in the record locking configuration. So, once a workflow rule is configured to trigger upon a record creation or being updated, let's say we've excluded users having the admin profile from record locking. For the workflow to trigger, the user who creates or edits the record must have an admin profile. With respect to syncing different Zoho integrations, if the locked records are being updated in the other product, then this data sync won't affect and the changes will be reflected in the CRM. The locked records will still allow the association of related list records. The reverse, however, is restricted. Locking records also means locking the lookup fields through which the locked records can be associated in the related list of other records. To be able to do this, we need to allow that lookup field to be an editable field in the locked record under the record locking configuration settings. That's all about the first 5 enhancements for you. Hope you all have an idea of how to implement them in your CRM. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end of this video. I hope you found it informative. And do stay connected with the CRM community forums for more updates and information. And feel free to reach out if you have any kind of questions regarding the enhancements we discussed today. So thanks again for your time and have a great day.